Well, here we are at the end of April, and I must say it's been a really fantastic April. Beautiful, beautiful weather. I was really surprised. So yeah. So anyway, let's have a look at what's been happening, and I'll give you a quick tour. I don't know whether you can see this too well, but I've put a new fascia board across the front here. So, but most of has been happening inside here. So let's have a look. So up we go, and here now, since all the thatch is out, we're able to putting the ceiling joists, king posts for support, rafter sections, and oh, I call it brandering. I'm not sure what you call it, some kind of ceiling supports or battens, but these battens are to support the plasterboard ceiling. So take a look down here, and this patching here of the stonework is where some of the old rafters for the thatch, they were buried into the wall. So when we winched them out, there was obviously a little bit of damage. So let's have a swing around here. You can see the lovely fireplace now, it's taking shape. All the linings in there, the stainless steel lining. So, and here on the other side here, we've had to patch up the stonework again. It's been purposely left rough, so when we plaster it, it'll have a good key for it. Here we go. It'll be a little bit darker in here. I just wanted to show you that same thing. All the framework has been done, and also the first fix electrics are done as well. So and then finally into the back into the main room, and put some studding up there for the partition wall. And here we go into the smaller room, and I'm using this as a tool store. And same thing again, all the framework is complete. And I've made a hipped ceiling in here because I'm not sure if you can see, but the existing rafters are still there by the gable wall, and I didn't particularly want to disturb them, so I decided to leave them, and I've made a hip here to finish off the ceiling. So that's everything inside here, and now I'm about to start doing the insulation. I've got some insulation laid down here. I really wanted to do the roof. I've decided, after all, to take off the corrugated iron, put a layer breathable membrane over the purlins and rafters, and refit the corrugated iron and clean it up and paint it. The corrugated iron is in really good condition, so that's what I wanted to do, but because of this COVID-19, unfortunately, my cousin in Dublin is not able to travel down here to Mayo, so we've had to put that off until they lift the restrictions, but nobody knows when it's going to be. Personally, I think it's going to be at least a couple of months before we're allowed any kind of unrestricted travel, but we'll have to see. So in the meantime, I'm going to carry on with all the internal work. I'm going to put all the insulation in, plasterboard, and just carry on with the inside work. The roof was leaking a little bit at the ridges, but I was up there this morning, and I've basically This is a very highly technical term, but I've gobbed it up with a bit of cement and sand just to make a temporary repair. So I'm hoping that will hold. It's only leaking in a couple of places, but obviously with the new ceilings going in, I don't really want anything leaking on it too much. But it should be okay. I have a spring well on the property, but I could never get to it because it was so overgrown. But I've decided to have a look for it now because it hasn't rained for a couple of weeks, and my rainwater harvesting, my tanks are getting really low. So I've decided to see if I can find this well. Well, the first job was to make a clearing, and this is what it looked like before. It was absolutely dense growth. So here now you can see up to the cottage. Now I'm going to swing around and just show you where the spring is. Sorry if I'm shaking this, but here we go. Now I don't know whether you can see the stream, maybe it's a bit dark, I don't know, but that's the stream there. Now it's going up this way. Now I'm going to take a walk up there and show you. So please excuse me if I'm shaking the camera a bit because it's very difficult getting around here, but I want to keep it running so you get an idea. So here we go. Just climb up here. Whoops. Yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, now we're up on the higher path. Now, I don't know whether you can see, you can just about see the water running there. Now, up here, there was like a small dam. So, but anyway, let's go a little bit further. I've cleared all through here to get in. And you can see the dense bush. It's been some job. I've been spent 3 or 4 days on this. But now here we come to the well head or the spring head, and you can see there where they've constructed a stone portico, I suppose, and where it's actually coming out of the bank, the water. If you can get a bit closer, it's not flowing very much. I think you can just see a trickle there, but I estimate it's probably flowing at about a couple of litres a minute, which is more than enough. When you think if it's flowing 24 hours, probably talking about a couple of thousand litres a day, which is far in excess of what I need. So I've cleared all this now, so I'm just going to see how this clears. I've got away as much of the mud as I can, but I'll probably rake out some more later. And okay, it's the next day, and as you can see, I've put a pipe in, and I've made a small cofferdam to dam up the source. And you can see the lower pipe is where we're piping the water from, and then the top pipe is an overflow to let the excess water drain away without spilling over the top of my little dam. The old auctioneer's for sale sign came in handy. It's a perfect material for it. So right, so this was done about 2 weeks ago now, and we've had excellent results. I'm so delighted with this spring. It was used approximately 50 or 60 years ago. I mean, the granddaughter of the previous owner still lives here, and she comes to see me quite often. And she told me as a young child, she used to come here and fetch the water for the cottage, and they'd wash their hair in the pools here. So when I came here, they had a well. They had some pipe work and some tanks on the roof, which it was a whole mess, and apparently everybody was saying, oh, the spring came from right up the hillside, which is on another property, and it's all fell into disuse. And so I wasn't sure what to believe, but we've since discovered now this was the original spring for the property. And when I uncovered it, it was pretty silted up because it hadn't been used in 50 or 60 years. But it took me about a day to clear it all out, and now we have excellent water. I'll take you down now to a collection point. There's no point in filming. This is like a jungle here, but I'll stop this and I'll take you down to the tank. So here's my collection tank, and I think you can just see that top pipe, that light grey pipe. That is the inlet from the spring going into the tank, and then the lower pipe is the overflow, which is going back into the stream. I'll just bring it down here and show you. It's going into a bit of a gutter there, and then all the way through here, and there's a small stream there, so it's returning back to the wild. So unfortunately I can't show you the tanks. I have it covered up now so we don't get any algae growth from the sun. But eventually I want to buy a proper black plastic water tank, because eventually this plastic will deteriorate. But I am so happy with the water quality. It looks crystal clear, and there's no sediment coming down whatsoever. I have tasted the water. I didn't swallow it, but I did taste it, and there is absolutely no taste or smell whatsoever. So I'm very confident that the water quality is very good. I'm only using it for cooking, and I make a tea and coffee with it, and obviously bathing. But for drinking water, I still get that from a local spring here called Nancy's Well. A lot of the locals here come for the water, come and get the water from this spring, because it apparently it's very good for you. So I'm using that for the time being. But I have ordered a testing kit on Amazon, and so when that arrives, I'm going to do a DIY test, and then eventually, maybe later in the year, I shall have it tested in the laboratory here in Ireland. And you can't see much here, but this is the outlet here from the water tank, and from here it's buried here and goes right up, and there you can just see in the distance it goes into the house, and we have a pump which pumps the water from the tank, and it works really, really well. So that's it for now with the spring, and we'll see how it goes with this test.